What is going on, online fitness coaches? Welcome to another episode of the Change Labs Make Money Online Trainer Podcast. This is the #1 show for online fitness coaches who are trying to grow successful online business. In today's episode, I'm joined by my business partner, Mr. Cole DaSilva. What's up, the Wolf?
What's going on, squad? This is a very, very exciting episode. This is something that me and Brian have talked about for a while, and I'm very, very amped up to talk to you guys about it.
So before we get into today's podcast, I want to read out a rating from my client, Lindsay. She said, "The real deal. I'm so grateful for you and Coach Kirst. I can relate to both of you and so much love listening to both of you every single day. Never change who you are for nobody. Have the best day of your entire life." Lindsay, you can tell she's my client. She says, "Have the best day of your entire life." So I appreciate you so much. Thank you for leaving the rating. If any of you guys get value from the podcast, the way you can help out is go to the podcast app and rate yourself, or you can leave a rating underneath the podcast, underneath the first episode. So use your fingers and thumbs, scroll all the way down, and you can leave a rating on the episode. Today's topic is how to find your voice on social media. Now, for me, I'm going to give a little bit of a quick backstory because you guys know I've been an online coach for 7 years, and I was doing the Daily B, which was like a Facebook live stream as an online fitness coach. I'd go live 3 to 5 times a week. I'd walk around. I'd talk about mindset, training, nutrition. And I don't really even think when I was doing the Daily B that I truly found my voice. I actually don't think I found my voice until I started podcasting. But even when I was podcasting online coach, when I first started podcasting, I almost felt like an imposter. This was brand new for me coming into this space, and I was going to be talking every single day about business coaching, and I didn't really know if anybody was going to listen, and I didn't know if anyone was going to vibe with my message, and I was afraid of judgment, and I was afraid of not being liked, and I was afraid that somebody was going to think I was a fraud, and there was all these fears around actually speaking up and sharing my 100% honest opinion. But now I've got 307 podcast episodes. We've been around for 1.5 years, and obviously that's changed a lot. So I'm going to be sharing a little bit of my experience throughout this episode as Cole is kind of giving his, but I don't want to highlight myself. I want to highlight Cole because Cole was somebody that wasn't being himself on social media. He didn't find his voice. And I would say until about 2 years ago. Yeah. So Cole, why don't you talk about, who you used to be on social media, and then we'll get into the actual goodies. So who was Cole?
100%. Guys, buckle in because this is going to be a good one. All right, I've wrote a pretty big blurb of this, guys. But basically who I used to be was somebody who was afraid to express themselves on social media. I had always been a person who was very raw and real. All right, I was always a person who liked to say things and talk about things exactly how they are. I don't like beating around the bush. I don't like sugarcoating anything. It's just not who my personality is. But when I first started to build my business, when I first started to get into online coaching space, I really struggled with expressing myself on social media. And I was, for lack of a better term, trying to act like somebody I wasn't, mainly because I didn't know how people were going to react to the things that I had to say or the things that I wanted to talk about. And because also our crew at the time was a little bit worried about the outside view around us. As a little bit of a background on that, all right, in our space when we were building Aesthetic Nation, there was a lot of coaches that didn't like us in the first place. So having a very outspoken individual as myself come into the group and who's very loud and says pretty outrageous shit from time to time, there's a little bit of nervousness there off and on, okay?
Do you guys, have you guys ever heard of the term crab in the bucket? Get crabs in the bucket?
I haven't heard that term.
Do you guys know what crabs do? If you put a bunch of crabs in a bucket, do you know what crabs do to each other? So basically what happens is if there's one crab that's climbing up to the top of the bucket, the other crabs will legitimately pull that crab back down. Instead of working together to climb, because if there's a bunch of crabs trapped in a bucket, instead of working together and they all climb out of the bucket, if one crab starts to climb to the top of the bucket, the other crabs will literally pull the other crab back down. It's called the crab in a bucket effect. And so when we were in Calgary, we would have other crabs in our bucket trying to pull us back down. So we had a really hard time expressing ourselves on social media because almost anything we say was potentially misinterpreted. And it was hard because I know that for Cole, there was a lot of things that he wanted to say. But even as the business owner at the time, I was like, guys, we got to present a positive front on social media because we're already dealing with criticism. So we don't want to put out anything that would cause a backlash.
100%. And honestly made me feel very awkward. And again, a little scared to express myself because I didn't really know what to talk about on social media, and I didn't know how to carry myself, which made me start to act like somebody I wasn't. Constant thoughts would just continue to pop into my head. Like, some person is already successful, so why don't you just act like them? All right. If nobody's speaking about these things, you shouldn't be. Things that are kind of always there, things that you hear, for lack of a better term, trolls and haters on social media say to people who express themselves in a way that they don't really understand, which I'm assuming every single person who listens to this has experienced that in some different level. All right.
Somebody casting judgment, or somebody saying that like they're posting too much on social media, or that's wrong. You know, the thing that they said was wrong and they're out of line. And, you know, there's always, your mom says you're posting too much about your personal story. There's always somebody that says something about your story, and then that causes you to question your own voice. Do you guys feel that?
Exactly. And because of that, it was very, very hard for me to find my own fucking voice. I would stutter way more on lives. Now I do it and I just joke around because I don't care, because it's who I am. But I would stutter like crazy. I would, no joke, guys, be on my phone walking down the street to do a live stream and start and stop it maybe 2 to 8 times in a row, because I was trying not to swear or act wild on lives like I do now, because I was trying to act like somebody I wasn't, which is effectively destroying my business at the time, because I wasn't being me. I wasn't acting like Cole DaSilva was supposed to be fucking acting.
But before we go any further, I'm curious, how many of you guys want to attract clients you actually like working with?
That's such a big thing too.
If you want to attract clients you actually like working with, I'm just curious, because for those online trainers that are listening to this podcast, if you want to attract clients that you actually like working with, that you actually vibe with, but you're pretending to be somebody else on social media, the people that you're going to attract are going to be the ones that are attracted to your pretend persona.
Yep.
They're not going to be clients you actually vibe with.
And that started to happen. That's one of the reasons why it started, like, quote unquote, destroying my business, because I'm acting like said person online. Then I'm attracting these, for lack of a better term, softies into my program, because I was acting soft online, and me and that person did not fucking vibe, because I am not that person. So I needed to make a switch. And I honestly, again, I think it was probably around 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. It was around 6 months into me building my business where I started to try to branch out, but it wasn't until around 2.5 years ago, like Brian was saying, that I really embraced, all right, the mindset of being my fucking self online, and being 100% unapologetically you, no matter what. And everything changed. Like, literally, the business shifted in an instant, and my social media took a huge shift, and basically was labeled the tough love king. And I'm fucking happy about it, because it means I don't have to hide my thoughts anymore. All right. Because I was able to make that shift. I was able to be myself. All right. I hate censoring myself. I hate not acting like myself. So I don't do it for anybody anymore. I be 100% unapologetically me all the time, because I want to attract those people into my life. Right. And I know what the flip side is. Guys, bringing in like men and women in my program who don't like swearing because I was acting like somebody I wasn't, when all of my clients and anybody who's heard me on Brian's podcast or my podcast knows I probably can't go 3 sentences without saying the word fuck, because I enjoy saying it so much.
Okay. I want to pause. I want to pause you there for a second. I love it. There's so many online trainers that are afraid to post on social media because they don't know what they should be posting. They don't know what they should be saying. They're trying to present this perfect version of themselves. They're trying to deliver the most value and say it in the right way, and then structure the post like 1, 2, 3. Yep. And they don't actually speak their mind. They don't actually voice their opinion on how they feel about said topic or said thing. It's very challenging to build an online fitness business without being a presence on social media, right? And if you're going to be a presence on social media, why wouldn't you be yourself?
Exactly.
It's the easiest thing to do, is to be yourself. Now, the thing that holds us back from being ourselves on social media, there's only really one thing. It's fear of judgment.
Yep.
It's like, I don't want to be judged for being who I am. And so it's almost easier to create a persona, because even if you get judged for being the persona, it's not actually you, so it doesn't really matter. but it's like to be vulnerable enough to share actual, parts of who you are on social media, and then to, deal with the comments that come in. Some of them will be positive, some of them will be negative. And just understanding, like, online coach, if you're taking notes, write this down. Not everybody's going to fucking like you.
Nope.
Not everybody's going to like you. And even if you're pretending to be somebody else, there's going to be some people that just don't like you.
Mm-hmm.
So if you know that no matter what, there's going to be people that don't like you, wouldn't you rather not be liked for just being yourself versus like somebody doesn't like the fake version of you that you're putting out? Do you guys understand what I'm saying?
That's a huge mindset shift that you guys need to embrace, that I did embrace. All right. I realized when I was trying to act like somebody I wasn't online, that there was people who didn't like me anyways. So my mindset was, why the fuck am I hiding? I can't please everybody. There's 7.8 billion people on this planet. I don't give a fuck if half of them hate me. I just don't. I say it on a daily basis. You're either going to love me or you're going to hate me, but I'm going to be myself 100% of the time because I believe in that as a human being. You need to be yourself. I don't like being fake. I don't like acting fake. It's just not who I am. All right. And I'm going to tell you guys a little bit of a background story.
Get ready.
That I posted.
Buckle in.
Extremely fucking harsh. Okay. I'm just going to say that right away. This is extremely harsh, but you guys need to realize I take a tough love approach with all of my coaching, period. I used to train specifically women. All right. And all of them loved my tough love approach. So when I would make posts, I would attack excuses and justifications head on. And I'm going to tell you a little bit of a story right now. All right. This is actually funny. Brian knows exactly what I'm talking about. That's why he's laughing right now. So I'm going to give you guys an example of something I posted that is 100% me. And I stand by it to this day that people did not fuck with. I made a cardboard sign. All right. And me and Corey drove around Calgary and we found a good place to take the picture. And the cardboard sign said, "You are not big boned, you are fat." That's it. And my caption said, "Sorry, not sorry." That was the end of the fucking caption. That was the end of the breakdown. And I know what you're thinking, okay? That's fucking harsh, which it is. But there's a reason I did it, all right? And yeah, maybe I should have explained it a little bit more in the caption of the photo, but I stand by what the fuck I said because I posted that photo as a fitness coach to help people who deal with that excuse. Because as a coach who focused on just training women for a long period of time, I heard from, I can't even tell you how many women that when they were growing up and until this day, their parents used to tell them, "You're not fat, honey, you're just big boned." And then these women that I was training were so stuck in that fucking mindset that they thought they could never change. They thought that I cannot lose weight. I cannot make this shift. I can't do this. So as a person who hates fucking excuses and justifications, I attacked it just like I do on every single aspect. All right. Because I don't believe in any excuse or justification for being stuck where you currently are in life, period. All right. Now, I did this in a fucking harsh ass way and it got me a lot of hate, which I knew was going to happen. But I also got a lot of clients from it because I was being 100% unapologetically me. And the people who understood that saw that. The people who wanted to see the hate and wanted to hate, who cares? I can't please everybody. All right, it's not my job to please everybody. And a little bit of a side note, a little bit of a breakdown on why, or an example of how strict I am with being me no matter what. I lost my Magnum sponsorship off of this. It's an example of people who didn't know. I used to be sponsored by Magnum Nutraceuticals. All right, I was an athlete/trainer with their team. And when I posted this sign, they got so many messages. Okay, I'm going to put this in quotes because I don't really know. Okay, so many messages from people and my fellow athletes, people who I called friends, apparently at the time, saying that I was fat shaming and I deserved to be kicked off the team and I shouldn't be there. They told me if I took down the photo that they would keep me on the team. And without skipping a beat, I said no. Because I refuse to let somebody else dictate how I'm going to act in life, period. I refuse.
Yeah, go ahead.
I refuse to act like somebody I'm fucking not because it affects somebody else's mindset, period.
I want this to sink in for a second. Just like really sit. So at the time, Cole made the decision to lose his sponsorship because he was unwilling to allow somebody to tell him not to be himself. That's the key here.
And guys, I pushed to become a athlete / trainer with Magnum for over 6 months.
Yeah,
this
dude,
is a
and
team
he was
that
applying.
I really wanted to be with.
He was applying every month for 6 months, like every single month. He'd send them an application. It was like a dream of his for years to be a sponsor.
And they're like, nope, we don't have any athlete positions. Nope, we don't have any athlete positions. Nope. And after 6 months of grinding, they're like, you know what? We see your dedication. We're going to fucking make a position for you.
Mm.
And then a year and a half into my sponsorship, I post this sign and they tell me, yo, if you don't take that down, we're going to kick you out. And I said, kick me out. Because again, number one, I refuse to go back on shit that I've said when I know there was a good reason for it. All right. Example, I've got 5 clients off that one post from women who you were told that when they were a child and had that mindset and needed somebody to help them, which all, by the way, I helped lose 30 plus pounds, shift their mindset, and 3 of them are now coaches helping other women. All right. And because number 2, again, I refuse to let somebody else dictate how I'm going to fucking act on a daily basis, period. All right.
Okay. Let's let this sit for a second. Does this making sense? All my fitness coaches. I actually told Cole, I'm like, I want you to tell the story and I'm going to take a back seat on this one because this is fire. Mm-hmm. Now I want to go back for a minute, right? Let's go back. So the main core lesson that you need to take from this is like, never allow somebody else's opinion of you to stop you from being yourself. That's the number one lesson. Now let's go back, right, to Cole writing the sign. Is this podcast recommending that you write a sign that says you're not big bone, you're fat? No, because a lot of you guys don't have that belief, right? A lot of you guys aren't as tough love as Cole. Maybe there's one of you guys that is. That's cool. But I'm going to assume that there's a lot of you that are afraid to share an opinion of something that you have on social media because you don't want to be perceived the wrong way, right? And so the lesson here from Cole is understand that like you should speak your mind and you should be yourself and you should be only yourself. And so you should express the opinion that you believe in, even if other people don't believe in it, because you believe in it. That's how you attract your tribe. Yep. Cool. How much do you enjoy working with those 5 women that came to you off that post?
Yo, I loved them. Literally, we built such a strong fucking relationship. It was insane. And guys, like I said, 3 of them now are becoming coaches and 1 is already training women to embrace their goals and change their lives.
Is this making sense to everybody tuning into this podcast? You guys understand what we're saying to you right now?
Like, all right. The lesson, guys, that I want to get through to everybody on this podcast is to speak how you want to fucking speak. All right. Be you. All right. Don't let anybody tell you how to dress. Don't let anybody tell you how to speak. Don't let anybody tell you how to act. Be you. Never let someone dictate how you're going to go through your own life, period. I see way too many coaches, way too many people act like someone they're not on a daily basis because they're worried about everybody else's opinions. I do not care. I used to. All right. And I'll openly admit that because I thought you needed to put on an act to be successful. And now I'm literally the spitting example that you can do whatever you want and act how you want and become successful as long as there's a good purpose behind it. All right. So please be yourselves. All right. There's 3 things that I really want you guys to embrace and 3 things that I think you all need to do in order to really find your voice on social media. All right. So pay attention. Number 1, you need to figure out what you stand for. All right. This is something that I embraced at very early in my coaching career and just in general. All right. As a human being, I refuse to let excuses dictate where I go in life. So I stand for hard work and just busting your butt on a daily basis. I came from I don't want to say poor family, but a family who struggled with money like crazy, abuse, addiction, all right, a bunch of things as a kid, and now I am where I am in life. I didn't let excuses hold me back. So you need to figure out what you stand for and you need to stick to it. Number 2, all right, this is something that I do on a daily basis. I figure out what I want to be remembered for. All right. Will there be people who hate me when I die? Probably. But I guarantee you there's going to be more that love me because I always spoke my mind and I helped as many people as I could on a daily basis. What are you going to be remembered for when you're gone? All right, Gary Vee talks about this. I do everything for the amount of people I want to show up to my funeral. When he said that, that really stuck with me. All right, how many people are going to be around your casket at your funeral? It really stuck with me. So I want you guys to think about.
There's not going to be a lot if you don't speak your mind.
Exactly.
If you just sit there on the sidelines and you're afraid to speak your mind, you're afraid to say what you believe in, you're afraid to stand up for something, so you end up laying down for anything and you go through your entire life without being who you are.
Yep.
It's a lot more liberating to just be your fucking self. It really is.
Exactly. And the last one, only ever share who you truly are. This is something a lot of you need to embrace. All right? Because people will see through the bullshit. If you try to act like something you're not on social media, I can tell instantly. Like literally instantly, because I did it for 6 months. All right? Straight up. No swearing, acting like something I wasn't, trying to be the fucking PG-13 version of online fitness coaches, whatever you want to call it. And now, no joke, I think we have 660 clients right now, B?
Yeah.
Yeah, 660 clients. Every single time one of them posts something that I know they don't fuck with internally, I can see right through it. Which means if I can see it, your clients can too. You're not looking like an authentic human being, so act like yourself. Figure out what you stand for, figure out what you want to be remembered by, and be your fucking self 100% of the time.
There's one thing I want to add to this. How many people, there's a lot of you guys tuning in right now, and a lot of you guys are my clients. Now, when you guys listen to my live streams versus Cole live streams, they're significantly different, correct? We might be talking about the same topic, but they're delivered in a different way. Mm-hmm. Because I'm a completely different person than Cole is. So one thing that I want you guys to understand is it doesn't matter who you are. It just matters that you're being yourself. And being yourself also is I want you guys to understand that being yourself doesn't always equal powerhouse, right? Because sometimes you guys see me on live stream and I'm I'm fucking killing it. I'm having the best day of my life. This is amazing. And sometimes I start my lives and I'm honestly, today sucked. Today sucked. Woke up on the wrong side of the bed and I just wasn't feeling it, but I made a commitment to show up for you guys. So I'm here to serve and I'm pumped to be here. Yeah. You guys understand what I'm saying? It's be yourself. You don't have to be fake. If it's a hard day, it's a hard day. That's part of your voice. Go on your story and talk about it. There's probably a lot of you guys that follow my fiance, Kirsten Martell. When Kirsten's having a bad day, she will literally go on a story and she'll talk about it for 3 minutes. Today is the worst day of my life. And I'm going to share with you guys what's going on because I'm not perfect. And I just I want you guys to see that. And she'll just be open. She'll share. I'm XYZ, XYZ. It's be yourself.
I honestly think it's funny sometimes when people look at my approach when it comes to coaching and it freaks them out. Because of how I'm just going to use the word rude because a lot of people use the word rude it is. But a lot of people don't understand. It's I use that same approach with myself all the time. I just don't allow bullshit excuses to help me go through life.
Yeah, and I think that it's important to know that we just don't bend who we are to serve our clients either.
Ever.
So there was a client that joined our program and it was 3 days in and she was hey, I just I need to let you know that there's a lot of swearing in the program and it makes me super uncomfortable. And I'm honestly, I understand. I'm happy to process a refund because there's going to be a lot more. And if you don't like it in the first 2 days, you're not going to like it in 30. So I'm just I wasn't going to apologize and say oh, I'm super sorry that we're swearing on live stream. You know what I mean? I'm just unwilling to bend who I am to please another human. So it's this is who we are. This is our vibe. This is our movement. Come on in. It's really fucking fun in here. We do swear, but we have a good time. And it's that's who we are.
Yeah. Be you.
Yourself.
Stop acting like somebody else. Just embrace who the fuck you are and act like it. Because I guarantee you, some people might be mad about it. Okay. Trust me. I've seen it. I've seen the hate come out on social media, but I've also got 10 times the love every time I've gotten a bunch of hate.
Dude, and it's the same thing in our client community. Like, yeah, there's one client that didn't like that we're swearing, but there's also 600 other ones that are like, we fucking love this community.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, you understand, there's always going to be people that don't like what you're doing, but there's also going to be people that really, really like vibe with you when you are being yourself. All right, guys, that's it. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is the Change Lives, Make Money Online Trainer podcast, the #1 show for online fitness coaches who are trying to grow a successful online business. If you got value from today's episode, go to the podcast, go beneath the first episode, leave me a rating or review. Cole, where do they find you on social media?
Guys, you can check me out on Instagram and TikTok at Cole Lewis DaSilva, or check out my podcast, the Wake Up with the Wolf podcast.
That's it. That's all. Have the best day of your entire life. We'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.